It's your boy, Detroit Dave. I would like to say welcome to all of the people that just found my video or just were interested in this particular release that I'm discussing now. I would like to say welcome back to those of you who have been rocking with me. This channel has been in existence for 13 years now, although there was a 5-month hiatus, or excuse me, a 5-year hiatus. So I am back now with better content and better production for you guys. Now, by the title, I'm sure you guys know what we're here to do. This is Air Jordan 3 Foul Line versus Air Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined, the 2023 release. Now, the reason that you see 3 shoe boxes here is because I wanted to give a baseline, give some more perspective to the shape, the quality, and the style of the 3s that were modeled more after the original 1988 release. So I've also got the 2022 released Air Jordan 3 Fire Red here as well. And we're going to talk about that briefly before we get into the actual breakdown of the White Cement 3s. All right, so we are back. And when it comes to the Air Jordan 3, there's a few things that make this sneaker iconic. It was the first sneaker to actually have Nike Air on the back of the shoe. It was the first sneaker to put a visible air unit into a sneaker. It also added elephant print for a different dynamic, although the Air Jordan 2 did have faux lizard skin, being made in Italy as the first luxury sneaker. But I believe that we all can agree the most iconic thing about the Air Jordan 3 is what he did in 1988. Slam dunk champion. And I actually used to have a jacket and a hat to represent that. I'm disappointed that I no longer have it, but I'm glad that I still have this figure right here. And we're going to take a look at this figure a little bit more, because this figure is actually from the 1988 dunk contest. So, before we get more into this figure, we're going to take more of a look at that once we actually discuss the free throw line, aka the foul line 3s. But first off, let's start with the difference in the boxes. Now, at first glance, they look very, very similar. But if you notice, the 2018 release for the foul line 3s has Jumpman Air, where the 2022 and 23 released Air Jordan 3s both have Nike Air. You'll notice that the cement print, or excuse me, the elephant print on the bottom looks a little bit different on these 2 boxes as opposed to the way it looks on this box. And that goes to show the difference in the elephant print after they retroed these sneakers originally in 1994. And let's pause for a minute and take a break on this recap or this comparison, and let's talk for a minute. Right now, I'm doing an in-depth series on the history of the sneaker culture, the overall game, the way it is now, where it came from, because I have first-hand knowledge since I was born in 81. I was there for the entire rise of Michael Jordan and how he became the greatest player and subsequently became the most dominant force in the sneaker culture, even to this day. So I'm doing an in-depth series on that right now, and I actually go in-depth and I discuss the original retros that released in 94, why they didn't do well, and why them going back around to the retro is what was the biggest contributing factor to the culture that we have right now. So if you haven't seen that series, please go and take a look at the real Air Jordan history. 4 parts have been released up to this point, but I'm back in my old mode making a comparison video for the actual sneakers themselves, because y'all know this is what I did. So now I'm back here in April with this video, but the series will definitely return. I just need you guys to watch it. So once those views get up, I'm gonna come back with part 5, which picks up in 1999. Now, when this sneaker released in 1994, the elephant print was quite similar to what it is on the Reimagined release, which is modeled, of course, after the 1988 release. But after that, the elephant print changed, and so I like the fact that they added that dynamic in on these boxes. Now, outside of that, the Reimagined box obviously has a different aesthetic, because the goal was to make this box look like it was actually from 1988. So you see how it looks like it's been dragged, scuffed, things like that. And you'll see that aesthetic continue into the shoe. Whereas with the Fire Red box from the 2022 release, you can see it has none of that particular aesthetic. It looks like a new box. And then when you go to the 2018 released Free Throw Line 3s, you'll see this one has the Jumpman Air and a thicker elephant print. But for the most part, these boxes are quite similar. So now, let's get these Fire Reds in here so we can take an actual look, shall we? So when we discuss the 2022 released Fire Red 3, this is a sneaker that was modeled after the 1988 release of the Fire Red. So off top, you'll notice that the shape is different. It's a longer shape where the toe box is thinner and rounds out right here, as opposed to being higher right here and going down like the 2007 release Fire Red was. You'll also notice that the elephant print is bolder, just like it is on the newer releases. Now, for some reason, I believe that the Fire Red and the True Blue pairs were thicker originally than the Black Cement and the White Cement pairs. So I believe that the elephant print is pretty much staying true to the 88 release, but that shape is definitely different. And then when you look at the material, the quality of the leather, in 1988, the tumble was smaller. The grain of the tumble was smaller, as opposed to later releases of the 3s, where they all had tumbled leather, but the tumble was a little bit larger. And as you can see on this particular release, that grain is smaller and tighter together. So with the Fire Red release, although the elephant print is the same as later retros, the overall shape, even to the width of the tongue, is more consistent with the original 1988 release. So, just to give you a baseline of where the 3 stood in 1988, we're going to jump right into what this video is all about. The Foul Line versus the Reimagined. And we are right back. Right now, you are taking a look at the 2018 released Foul Line 3 and the just recently released March 2023 Reimagined White Cement. So now off top, you can really see the difference in the tumbling that I was saying. This tumble is very deep, and this is the tumbling that we're used to on more recent releases. Even if you look at Air Jordan 1s, Air Jordan 4s, that larger tumble is something that we have become accustomed to. Whereas when you look at the Reimagined, it has that more 1988 feel with the tag that came on it. And with the grain of the leather, once again, you can see that smaller grain on the sneaker. Now, as I was saying before, with the thickness of the tongue, this thickness, this padding is what we've been used to, where the inner cushion kind of raises above and then gets stitched kind of at the top of the tongue on the newer release Air Jordan 3s versus the ones that are modeled after the 88 release, where the outside of the tongue, the leather of the tongue, actually rolls over to meet the cushion kind of at the back of the tongue. So the tongue on the Air Jordan 3 modeled after 1988 is a bit thinner. And then, of course, you get to the elephant print. Now, when you look at it right here, it does look quite similar. The thickness does look quite similar. However, when you look at the back, though, you can tell that the elephant print on the free throw line is definitely thicker and more embossed than the elephant print that is on the Reimagined pair. And this is also the same as the 1994 white cement and black cement retros that came out. The elephant print looks much more similar to this one. So as you can see, there's already 3 major differences on the, well, actually you could say 4 if you count the tongue as well. Major differences in the newer retros of the white cement 3s, or really all 3s in general, but the newer retro and the retros that we were used to for the past few years. And then even with the size of the elephant print, where it comes up off of the sole, it looks like it's a little bit taller here on later releases. So that's one more thing. And now my favorite difference that we're going to discuss. Actually, there's one more difference. The free throw line 3, actually for the insole, it has a picture of the outsole in the sneaker, where you can see right there where it says Nike and that block lettering right there on the bottom. Typically, the insole will just have Nike Air or Jumpman, but as you can see in the free throw line 3s, the insole is just like the outsole. Now, let's get back into this figurine and wrap this video up on why this shoe was called the free throw line 3s.
She's a groupie, so I leave her in my blind sights. Even though she gave me saying that my rhyme tight.
The fans are all on their feet, or most of them are anyway. Now the only way that he can lose is number 10 to the defeat that this does.
They out the block and get your bangs. I'm rocking with serious. So now you sneaking trying to copy me. I got the stage like you standing in line by hours. Cause I'm a gold digger like the boy extra powers. If you ever go remember, ain't no better mile than that 7 where they reppin' East Side Cheddar Mile. I'm from the D, yeah, bitch. I'm from the D.
So it has widely been stated that Michael Jordan actually stepped on the line when he jumped from the free throw line to do this dunk. So when they commemorated this sneaker, they gave it a clear outsole. But the difference is the clear outsole is only on one. On this shoe, it has the red foul line, and it has the spot where it is believed that Mike actually stepped on the line to jump to start that dunk, which I thought was a very cool addition. Now, with icy soles, you do have to worry about them yellowing. And I know a lot of the culture feels like the 1988 release in 2013, which most people refer to as the 88 3s. A lot of people felt that was the best release because they do have the natural gray outsole like all the other white cement releases do. But I actually thought this was a pretty cool addition, something to really set this particular release apart. And I feel like with the execution, they really did a really good job. So the iconic free throw line dunk done in 1998 while Mike was wearing the white cement 3 is the reason for the foul line 3 that released in 2018. And now for a final comparison. Look at that leather, boy. And last but not least, of course, we have the back tabs here. Now, I have worn the Foul Line 3s a couple of times, so that may have an effect on how wide it looks in the back. And of course, these just came out, so these are brand new. But I will say that the tab on the Reimagined release does seem to be thinner or tighter across the back than the free throw line release from 2018 does. This is just my observation. I'm going to try to hold this as steady as can, and y'all tell me if y'all feel the same or if y'all feel it's a similar width. For me, I feel like the Foul Line 3 back tab looks a little bit wider. But like I said, that also could be because these are dead stock, so my fat ass foot ain't been them yet. And these are not. Obviously, we're not going to talk about the yellowing. We know why the yellowing is there. That was done purposely to give it that vintage look. So we know that the tab is going to be a little bit different. But when I add in the fire reds, the tab might look similar as far as the width. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it is that it was just that I wore these so it made them look a little bit bigger than these. Because when I'm looking at the fire reds versus the 2018 free throw lines, that tab does look quite similar. But then when I look at both of these dead stock pairs of threes that were modeled more after the 88 original release, the tabs look similar as well. So maybe I'm tripping, man. I don't know. But overall, I would say when you compare the last white cement 3, 2018 Foul Line 3, to the latest white cement 3, the Reimagined, that was released a couple weeks ago, I would say you have 6 to 7 key differences. Number one, and the biggest difference, is the overall shape of the shoe. Hands down, you can tell that the toe box on the retros that we've been used to has definitely been slimmed down for a more elongated look on the recent release. Other than that, you have the shape of the elephant print. You have the boldness and the definition of the elephant print. You have the changes in the leather quality to a smaller grain leather, a little less tumbled. You also have the differences in the tongue, whereas the newer retros, or the retros that we've been used to, have a thicker tongue than this one here. So you do have a few notable releases. Now, what I will say is, based on what the free throw line 3s represented, even down to, like I said, even down to the score being printed on the back, or being tagged on the back of the tongue for the Foul Line 3. I just feel like the execution was quite nice. What they did as far as to incorporate all the things from that night of the dunk contest. And that's the one without the line, so let me use the one with the line. I just feel like it was a very, very nice execution. However, if we're talking about overall look, when you wear the sneaker, I'm thinking this 88 Reimagined got it, man. I'm thinking the Reimagined got it because I like the shape better. And I like the fact that the leather quality is, well, I mean, you can't really say better. I would say better. I would say the leather quality on this one is better than the 3s that we have been getting. I just think it looks better. And then, of course, last but not least, that vintage look, I really think set it off, man. So overall, for the comparison, I think I'm going to go with the Reimagined 3s as my favorite. However, I do still love the execution on the free throw line 3. And I think it's a great addition to my collection. So I'm very happy to have it. So there you have the comparison for the White Cement 3 Foul Line 2018, Reimagined 2023. In addition to the Fire Red making an appearance, just to kind of give us a baseline as to what we're looking at for the differences in the 1988 models versus the Retro 3s that were just the newer Retro 3s. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have spotted any comparisons that I've missed, any characteristics that I've missed, or something that you want to add, please let me know in the comments. I do respond to comments. I'm very, very active when it comes to the people that follow me and that take the time to not only watch the videos, but to leave a comment. I definitely appreciate that. And so for that reason, I definitely will respond. If there's any videos that you would like to see from me in the future, any type of comparisons, any type of reviews on sneakers that I already own, please let me know in the comments as well. And like I said, my renewed effort in this channel is because the best thing that I feel I can offer to the sneaker culture is my knowledge. So that's why the series is going on right now. Of course, you already know the channel, youtube.com/DetroitDave. 4 parts are out right now. The 5th is coming soon. I just want to see the viewership get up, so I know that plenty of people are able to take part in this conversation about how the culture got to where it is. Like I said, I'm an expert. I was there from day one. So my knowledge is definitely valuable if you care about how we got to where we are now. You know, some people just got into the sneaker game after COVID to make some money. And I respect that because I do sell sneakers as well. But for those that really care about the culture and care about the knowledge and care about things like this, subscribe to the channel, man. If you like the video, hit the like button. And please share my series so that everyone can know what we got going on over here, man. I appreciate your time. It's been your boy Detroit Dave on this sick-ass Air Jordan 3 comparison. The Real Air Jordan History series is going on right now, and I'll see y'all next time. Detroit Dave. Yeah. 31 Trey in the building. Detroit Dave on the motherfucking track. Yeah, 7 miles. So I'm from the D, right? Detroit, Michigan, the murder myth. Hey, this is Detroit Dave. Now that we're in 2023, I'm back to this channel with a renewed effort. I hadn't been making videos since 2018, and I've had a lot of people that have actually asked me, when am I coming back? And people that want to see me back. So hopefully you see the improvements in the direction that I'm trying to take this channel. Now, if you like what I'm doing and you can see the vision, see where this channel is going, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. When you hit that like button, I see it. I know that you like what you're doing. It motivates me to continue to make these educational videos, and it helps me get into this algorithm that YouTube has going on. Now, as you're watching this series, if you can't wait to see the next part and you want to make sure you know exactly when it's dropping, go ahead and hit that notification bell and select all of the notifications. You chilling? Hey, Detroit Dave just dropped Series X Part 3. It's time. I definitely appreciate you guys, man. I'm really here to improve this channel and give you more of the natural sneaker knowledge that I know from being part of the culture for over 25 years. Thank you. Let's grow together in 2023. Detroit City mean the world to me. I'm from deep. Now I done took you to my hood and around town, but when night hit, it's popping off downtown, riding down Woodward, flossing the rocks, Corville, Comerica, Parker, Reeving the Fox. Plenty in the
entertainment for any demeanor. Get the Jefferson and hit Joe Louis Arena. On prime night, limelight, Hogo Ball is most likely going down at Cobo Hall.